So there's like two ways to actually make friends: a forced situation and actually trying to find them. Now, full disclosure, I'm making my video for my wife who doesn't have any friends. This is the life you have with Tez. That's me. And today we're going to talk about making friends during a pandemic. Before we get started, go ahead and tap that like button. And if you have any content that you want to see going forward in the future, make sure you subscribe. With that said, here's 3 tips to making friends during a pandemic. Number 1, find them. Some people start their advice with good advice, but in order to make friends, you gotta find them first, wherever they may be. Look, I made some real friends, and I've also made some real friends online, but I'm really good friends with them still, 17 years later. See, that person right there that you saw on the picture, that is actually my best online friend of all time. Story time. We actually met on the kyleabear.com forums back in 2003. I actually wasn't sure if she was a boy or a girl. I just know she was getting jumped in a post that she had created. Like, she was kind of inflammatory back then. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but she's just an inquisitive person. She just likes to learn stuff by poking the bear sometimes. And I saw that, 2 posters, they were ganging up on my girl. So then, we started like doing the whole PM thing, and I'm like, hey bro, I like your art style, it's cool. Oh, it's cool. So then we started doing AIM. We started sharing art back and forth, and I drew a picture of like a boy and a girl. I don't even have a picture anymore, but she liked it, and then she was like, hey, by the way, I'm a girl. And I'm like, oh, okay. To this day, I don't really get to talk to her much on Facebook. So if you're watching this video, please answer your messages, because I would love to have a dialogue with you again for old time's sake, so you can tell me how dumb I am for doing these type of decisions. She actually motivates me to do my stories. That's why my main female lead in my main story is actually based off her. Fun fact. So if you didn't know it, now you know. I actually had to find her. Like, I didn't, even though it was happenstance, I had to go somewhere. Like, I actually had to reach out like, hey man, you all right? You okay, dude? Like, they were pretty vicious in there. But yes, go find your friends. Go where people are at. Go do things that people do. Because in order for people to know that you want friends or need friends or you like to hang out with friends, you have to do things that friends want to do. Roller skating, riding bikes, mountain climbing, gymming, drinking at a pub somewhere. Well, probably not during COVID, but you know what I'm saying. Find the people, and then they will find you, and you can find a friend. Boom. Number 2, find common ground. Okay. This one's a tough one. It's kind of like dating. Basically, you just got to find something that you and that other person are super into. If you're super into anime, there's a billion people who are super into anime in the world. There's a YouTube for it, just like they used to say, there's an app for that. There's literally a community that's centered around whatever you want to do. The bad thing is that in those communities, there's a lot of toxic fandom too. So you still need to be able to figure out who to listen to and all that stuff. But that being said, you can still find common ground with a lot of people and a lot of places. I actually met my best real life friend, Brian. We met in college, and he was singing Michael Jackson. Cause let me tell you, I really didn't like him when I first met him. Everybody's guilty of it. You judge people before you know them, and then you're like, oh man, that guy's annoying. And there's always those people you're like, man, that guy sucks. That actually turns out to be like your best friends that you're gonna hold on to for the longest time. He was singing "Wanna Be Starting Something" by Michael Jackson. He was like, wanna be starting something, got to be starting. And I was like, too high to get over. And then he finished the sentence. I know it sounds kind of suspect, but I'm saying that's my bro, man. Like, that's my dude. And so that's where it came from. It went from all the way to there. Like, to this day, we're business partners. We have a company. We make graphic design. Me, because I'm doing the military thing. He's actually doing the art. He's hustling and grinding. But I will put a link to his contact information somewhere in this video. Now, finding common ground during a pandemic. I happen to have a ancient Chinese Tibetan monk all the way from under the ocean, the great Atlantean secret for you. You gotta put yourself out there. It's the only way to find common ground. I'm not saying go to Walmart and ask a bunch of people, hey, you wanna be my friend? You wanna be my friend? No, that's weird and that's creepy, and you'll probably get friends with the wrong type of people. Leverage the communities that you actually belong to. Is your sister a human? Is your dad a human? But they know people, that's the point. The point of it is that they have relationships with other people. How many times have you met somebody because somebody else said, hey, you'll like this person. This person's just like you. And then you meet them and like, hey, we're lifelong besties now because our parents made us be friends, you know, something like those. So people know people, and those people know people that can hook you up with people. That's why in the olden days, parents used to set their kids up on dates with like the neighbor's kid. That's how Peter Parker met Mary Jane in the comic books. If you know, Miss Watson and Aunt May were always like, hey, you know, you should get Peter to talk to Mary Jane. That's along aside. If you're a mom, there's millions of other moms out there. There's communities for moms. They're bored in the house like you. They're tired of their kids. They're wishing they could put them back in school. You got common ground right there. I happen to live on the elitist post of all time, Fort Hood. 80% of the spouses that my wife encounters are bougie people, and they form cliques, but you can infiltrate the clique by using this mystical art, the play date, because there's a lot of moms who are tired of their kids and the kids are tired of their moms at the same exact time. If you say, hey, would you want to come over to my house so your little hellions can break my stuff instead of breaking your stuff, that other mom will be so relieved that you wanted to take her kids off her hands for her that she'll come over and she'll probably bring you some food, and then y'all can talk and y'all can make friends just like that. Now I know during COVID, you know, that people don't trust other people's kids and all that stuff. If that's the case, then all you really need to do is tell them to put on a mask, and then tell them, hey, if you want to play with my kids, just tell them to put on a mask too, and just sanitize their hands as soon as they come in the house, because kids are going to touch stuff and they're probably not going to keep the mask on anyway, but that's a chance you got to take. This is a pandemic. You're trying to make friends. You got to do something. You can't not trust everybody. You can't sit in the house and then be lonely and then complain that you don't have any friends. You got to do something to find friends. Number 3, use friend apps. Now, I'm not the type of guy who would advocate using an app over going to find somebody, but I mean, I did meet my wife on Christian Mingle, and I did date a lot of other girls from Plenty of Fish that didn't work out. There's an app for that. But, you know, take this one with a grain of salt. So while it's good to use apps, you need to use your due diligence. Number 1, you want to be safe still. You want to text people when you're on your way to some kind of meetup. You don't know these people. You don't know if they're planning on jumping you, planning on kidnapping you. I mean, Lord knows there's a bunch of people out there in this world that are trying to, you know, get women who look good or whatever and sell them into some kind of trafficking ring and all that stuff. So you want to text people on your way, and text them when you link up with the person, and text them when you're leaving. That way we can get a good triangulation of where you're at and when you were there and when you're on your way and all this stuff. It's just a good safe precaution. Now that that's out of the way, here's some friend apps that you might like. Okay, so there's Hey Vina or Vina, I don't know. Anyway, it's only for women, so men, don't try to sneak into the DMs. It's not gonna work for you, but it's basically for women who are trying to find other women to hang out with. Then there's Bumble BFF. It's like Bumble, except you're not sleeping with anybody. You're looking for a friend. And then I found my wife one. It was called Peanut. Peanut is for moms who are looking for other moms to hang out with. I don't know how popular it is. Maybe I'll see if I can get her to download it and check it out, but my wife is really leery of technology, so yeah, she's all thumbs when it comes to anything that is not a calculator. It is what it is. Just a good quick Google search can yield any of these choices here. Just remember, I'm making this video for my wife and she doesn't have any friends, so keep that in mind. Okay. Number 4, this is your bonus tip. This is called the cosign. Okay, so the cosign is for when you absolutely do not want to do anything that came before this. No apps, no putting yourself out there, no meeting people, no nothing. You don't want to do any of that stuff. All right. So this is basically like using your friends or your family to say, but you're actually with your family and you want your family to do all the work for you. And so they're like, yeah, I got a cool brother. He's cool. My sister's cool. Yeah, you can, here's their phone number. Why don't you give them a call? I literally just did this with my wife. Somebody else's wife is mad and alone at Fort Hood. We're in the same place right now and we're both here to train. And he was like, hey, your wife's at Fort Hood? My wife is at Fort Hood. Give me your wife's phone number, and then I'll give you my wife's phone number, and then they can be BFFs together so they don't have to be mad and miserable alone, because we're both tired of getting those phone calls of, look what your child did today. My child does the same thing every day. Kids are gonna be kids. They're silly. The Bible says foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. child. They're gonna be stupid. With that said, the cosign is when someone else does all the work for you. All you just need to do is talk to them, show up, or look at them, Skype them, or whatever. However it is that people are communicating these days, that's all you need to do to find yourself a friend. You still gotta be cordial and, you know, brush your teeth and have good hygiene and all that stuff. But somebody else already did 90% of the work. You just need to show up. Bonus tip number 2. I know, this is crazy, right? You need to be interesting and you need to be interested. This one is twofold. It's a double-edged sword. You want to be interesting to that person so they want to have a reason to be your friend. If they don't have a reason to be your friend, what is the point of actually talking to you? If you can't bring anything to the social table, then you obviously don't need to be at the party, unfortunately. With that said, you also need to be interested in the other person as well, because I don't know, 10 out of 10 people say that if you're interested in the thing that you're interested in, or the person that you're interested in, then you are more likely to be happy. If you find somebody utterly repulsive, but you stay with them and you show them your friendship, nothing is going to change between you. You're just going to be mad every single day and you're only wasting your own time. You're not doing anything for anybody besides hurting yourself, because that person is, chances are, they're using you for your friendship or your companionship, and they know you're not going to go anywhere. They're the only friend you got. So with that said, be interesting, attract interesting people, learn from them, do what you need to do, hang out with them, whatever, and then be interested in what they have to bring to the table as well. Because if you find that one lifelong friend, you will stick to them closer than a soup with a spoon. I don't know, whatever things stick close to each other. But anyway, that is the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you tap that like button. If you're already subscribed, hit that bell notification icon so you get every notification every time a new video like this comes up. This is The Life You Have with Tez. That's me. Peace out.